Hooty-hoo, all my stock market gamblers. Welcome today. It's Wednesday, August 4th. We're actually having a down day on the stock market. We all thought the stock market only goes up. We'll see how quickly this dip gets bought. They've been buying the dip relentlessly. Market drops, they buy that dip. We're down a couple hundred points today. Maybe we close at a new record high. You just don't know how it's going to play out. But what I want to talk today about is real estate. Okay, full disclosure, I'm a real estate broker, so I might be a little bit biased one way or the other, but what's going on in real estate? Again, the CDC comes out and extends the eviction moratorium. They push it out till October 3rd. I thought the Supreme Court ruled they don't have the power, and I believe they don't have the power. They're overstepping their power. They don't have the power to break the contract between a tenant and a landlord, but yet they're doing it. This is not good. They're breaking constitutional law. The CDC thinks they're all powerful. They think they can tell you whatever they want. They can tell you to wear a mask. You got to wear the mask. They can tell you to stay in your house. You got to stay in your house. They can tell landlords you can't evict the tenants. This is breaking constitutional law. Look it. A lot of people think that I'm cruel because I don't have sympathy for people that can't pay their rent. I do. They're just going about it the wrong way. Look it, you're hurting the landlord. You're stealing from the landlord and giving it to the tenant. Now, if the government wants to come in and pay everybody's rent, that's fine. But the landlord needs to get paid also. You see what happens when the tenant doesn't pay? The landlord can't pay. Now, when the landlord can't pay his mortgage, what do? They come and take the property from the landlord. This isn't right to penalize the landlord. If the government wants to pay everybody's rent, if the government wants to go full socialism, then so be it. But pay the landlord their rent. There is a contract between the tenant and the landlord, and the CDC thinks they have power to break the constitutional law of contracts. They do not have that power. The Supreme Court said they don't have the power. I don't get it. I do not get how they can come in and extend an eviction moratorium out till October 3rd when the Supreme Court says they don't have power to do it. Well, that's just my opinion, and I don't understand how it's happening. Now, do you think it's going to end October 3rd? Heck no. No way. You know what they're going to say then? We can't kick people out now. It's cold outside. Winter's coming. Let's wait till springtime. How far are we going to kick this can down the road? Will you ever get back to normal where people actually have to go to work? Look, I hear, about 70% of the people are now vaccinated. There's really no reason not to go back to work. I don't get it. There's really no reason not to pay your rent. Yeah, I don't like to pay rent. I don't like to pay mortgages, but it's part of life. It's part of living. You can't just sit at home, have the government send you a check, and you don't have to pay any bills. They say you don't have to. Well, look it. What we got here, what I want to really talk about is the death spiral that's starting in real estate. It's starting already. Do you know that new home sales have fallen 3 consecutive months in a row? They have gone down. Why? Because people cannot afford to buy homes at these prices. Prices are too high. People can't afford to pay their rent. This may not have anything to do with the pandemic. They can't afford to pay their rent because the rent's too high. Now, what happens when people can't afford to pay the rent? Usually you kick them out, right? And then they have to lower the rent because the landlords, they can't find anybody to rent at the high prices, so the price of the rent comes down to where people can afford it. But if you have full capacity, this is how it works. Okay, they tell you want to have vacancies. Let's say you're managing 100 apartments. You want to have 5 of them vacant. So you have property to show prospective tenants that come and want a place to rent that are willing to pay these high prices. You want property to be able to show them. If you're at full capacity, if all 100 of your apartments are full, you are too low on your rent. That's what they teach you in management classes. You have to raise rents until people cannot pay it, and then you evict the people, okay? And then you get 5 vacancies, and then new people come in and fill those. But if no one can afford it, those 5 new vacancies will reduce the rent, and it'll be a step down, a step down, a step down. Right now we're going step up, step up, step up, because there's no vacancies. We can't kick the people out that are not paying. This is creating a cycle of the step up. Okay, now when people have to be kicked out, when the eviction moratorium finally comes to an end, they're going to kick out 20% of the people are not paying their rent. What's that going to do? It's going to send the rents down. It's going to be the death spiral downward. And this is going to create normal rent rates that people can afford to pay. You see, right now, people cannot afford to pay the rent because it's too high. It should be coming down. Now, here's the funny thing. The government will tell you that year over year, rent prices have gone up 2.5%. Well, how come Realtor.com is saying year over year rent prices have gone up 25%? Why is the government lying to us? I don't think it's 2.5%. I think it's closer to 25%. But maybe the government's just counting that people aren't paying their rent. So maybe they're counting total rent collections. But the people that are paying their rent is going up 25% year over year. Home prices went up 25% year over year. But the government doesn't think that increase is enough. Why? Because they keep buying $40 billion of mortgages to throw the fire onto the real estate market that's already on fire. It's hot. It's on fire. But they want to gaslight it more and make prices go up more than 25% a year. All right. So now, I'm a real estate broker. Now, I got a new listing coming up. Okay, now I sell luxury homes, and the prices that I'm going to talk about are insane. Most of you around the country don't have these prices. But the home that I'm planning to list in the next week or two is, well, it's priced right. It's over $4 million. Okay, now here's the problem. Okay, the last one on this street, they put it on at $5 million because that's what the one before it sold. So they put theirs on at $5 million where the one before it sold, because nobody wants to take less. But it sat there. It didn't sell. They had to lower it. They had to lower the price down to $4.5 million and still sat there. They finally lowered the price to $4.2 million and finally sold for $4.1 million. Now here comes my client. My client sees this sale at $5 million. And they see this one at $4.1 million, and they're thinking, no, we want the $5 million. He wants to list at $4.5 million, but he doesn't understand the death cycle. Yeah, this guy made it out at $5 million. The next guy made it out at $4.1 million. He'll be lucky if he makes it out at $4 million, probably more around $3.8 million. The luxury home market where I am at is starting to stair-step down. It's called a death spiral. Now the stair step up, yeah, we've had that. Okay, here's the spiral up. My client bought his home 20 years ago. He paid $1.5 million. Now he wants to get $4.5 million. He wants to make $3 million profit on the home that he's held for 20 years. Now maybe we find that one buyer and maybe he gets that price. I think he's going to get closer to 3.9. Maybe he gets lucky at $4 million. But he bought it at $1.5 million. And the stair step up, everybody's been chasing this market higher and higher. Now, you know, when the death spiral comes and they start to stair step down, which is happening in the luxury market where I'm at now on the lower end, the $1 to $2 million price range, those are still selling in 6 days. But these luxury ones, they're taking 3-4 months, maybe 5 months. And the owners, they go from the fear of missing out when they were buying that, the FOMO, there's now a fear of getting out. They're afraid they can't get out in time before the market market crashes. And they're probably right. Not everybody's going to make it out. Look at, if you want to sell, now's a really good time to sell. You can still probably make it out at a very high number. But these properties that are going, they were at $1 million, 1.5 million. They went all the way up to 5 million. Now, could they come down to 1.5 million? Absolutely. They could come back down. They could drop all the way back down to 1.5 million. Now, granted, those are the prices of 20 years ago, but that could happen in a flash. It could happen in 6 months. It could happen in a year. If there's no buyers, if the buyers go away, and the buyers are going away, we see that in the new home sale prices. They are starting to fall. They're starting to come down. Okay, when they can't sell, when builders can't sell, they're in the business of building home. They have to lower the prices. Look at, prices are going to start to form what I call the death spiral. They're going to step their way down. And to get a bid on the property, you have to jump underneath the last sale. Now, nobody wants to take below the last sale on the street. They want at least that price or higher. But when you're in the death spiral, you got to get underneath of it so the bid price gets hit and somebody comes in and buy your house. So I got to go out on this listing appointment and talk to my client, and I got to explain to them that no, you don't want to list at $4.5 million. You want to list at $3.9 million. Now that's $600,000. $600,000 in real money. He's not going to be happy about that, but yet he's still going to make $2 or $3 million profit from where he bought at. Don't be greedy right now. I'm telling you, now's the time to get out if you can. At these high prices, it's a good time to sell. Now, I know I'm a real estate broker. I'm supposed to tell you it's a great time to buy, but I'm telling you, it's a good time to sell. I'm Tall Mike. If you like this stuff, give me the thumbs up. If you really like it, hit that subscribe button so we can talk more again later in the week. I think there's going to be some fireworks coming into the stock market. We're down a couple hundred points right now. That's nothing. Now, we may bounce right back up and close at a new record high, but I do think we're going to see a pullback. 10%. I'm telling you, August and September, somewhere I'm betting on a pullback of about 10% in the market. I'm Tall Mike. Get out there. Have a great Wednesday. We'll talk again real soon. Bye-bye now.